Because you can't be on the radio if you're a punk band. Like, that's completely a double negative, or whatever that's called.
It's easy to relate to.
Well, basically they just listen to the lyrics. That's what I do. I listen to the lyrics, and if I like the lyrics, I like the song.
I think it all just kind of depends on like how into the music you are. Like,
I'd like to be able to say that I came from an area where some cool band came from. I can plug their name, it would be awesome.
It's just a way to let your emotions go, I guess.
Dude, have fun, yeah. I mean, it's all about unity. It's all about just having fun, whatever. If you hit someone, you hit somebody. You get hit, you get hit. Yeah, I mean, look, not to hurt anybody.
It's great, man. It needs to keep local bands playing. There's no ice on shows. Don't throw on shows to make money. Those shows are local music live. Keep the scene alive.
When you go to some local shows and you see like a 12-year-old, a 14-year-old, a 15-year-old, and a 3-piece band, and they're just doing it to have fun. And that's like, I mean, sometimes a lot of older kids get annoyed. It's like, man, this band sucks. But it's cool because you look at them and you know, like, hey, that was me with my hair bleached and all spiked up. And it's, I don't know. That's where it all starts. Some people stray away, some people keep it going.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Call it the musical shot heard around the world, but when Dee Ramone yelled the famous 1, 2, 3, 4 call, music was changed forever. It started as an underground movement of 4 chords, fast yells, crowd chants, and 2-minute songs, and expanded into a whole new world of its own. However, to understand punk, you have to go back to the basics, to the land that time forgot, the underground. Delaware County is a region full of punk bands, but mostly its newest and most popular form right now, hardcore. I went to the shows, I found the bands, the recording studio owners, and the fans, and I found out what drives them, what makes this culture, and why it's where it is today. So, why do you think kids are listening to the music that they're listening to now?
Well, basically they just listen to the lyrics. That's what I do. I listen to the lyrics, and if I like the lyrics, I like the song. And I listen to all kinds of music, mainly like hardcore and like stuff like that, just emo.
Play the music that we play because it's just a way to let your emotions go, I guess. Like, I have the real emo band, which is sad and depressing, and then you have the hardcore band, which is angry. It just helps. I don't know, it's fun to play, basically. It's not a lot of substance or anything to it.
Kids have a lot of pent-up aggression. They like to spend it on music now.
It's easy to relate to, you know. You get these guys who, you know, some dudes just like to fight, some guys like to make love, and some like to cry, and you know, it's just feelings that come out, you know, it's nothing else.
It's bright and clear and I can see its features rather easily, but I'm driving.
The biggest moneymaker right now is fake hardcore and growling and indie hardcore, if there is such a thing.
Punk basically died in the early 80s. This isn't even punk music anymore. It's just another way it evolved. Now you're getting more hardcore screamo type things. It's always going to be changing. By the time, you know, I'm 60 years old, music's going to be completely different, and, you know, it's just emo. It's just emotional music. It's just brought out in a different way. Probably hardcore, you know, everything just, you know, we went from Elvis not being able to show his hips on live television, you know, as an outrage to, you know, now there's guys bleeding and puking and hurting themselves on stage. I mean, there's basically no limits in the way this country runs. There's no boundaries. I mean, there's certain boundaries right now, but they're just made to be broken.
Well, I don't know, because the screaming hasn't really made it mainstream yet. It kind of does, like in some of the harder bands, what people think are harder bands on the radio. But, I mean, I don't know I think punk's going electronica next. It's gonna go all, and eventually someone's gonna come out with their bass really hung low, their guitar really trebly and sounding like crap, and put together 3 chords again. And that's where it's gonna start again, but that's like years from now.
We'd appreciate it. We don't have a van, we take 2 cars to every show. Yes, it sucks. It sucks.
Music anymore is all about making money.
Is there any bands that you've seen that you actually think have that special something that's not all about making money?
There's no heart anymore, basically in anything. Very few bands, like even popular bands that have heart, that have a meaning of anything. Like Fugazi being one of them has, like, I don't know. None of these bands have a reason for playing. Like, they're not trying to go against the system by screaming or anything.
Basically, if you're in a band right now, you're just trying to make money. You do not want to work for a living. You do not want to wake up 9 to 5, do your job, come home to your kids. People don't want to do that anymore. People just want to make as much money as possible and live as freely as possible.
Then, you know, can get on the radio and play on TV. That's awesome. Who cares if they're selling out?
Hold up, could my ears be deceiving me, or did he just say the magic word, sellout? A word that's been used to describe punk bands since the early 80s. So let's see, do people still think that bands are selling out now, or has it just become a natural adjustment? Has it become a trend too much, actually? Would you call the band sellouts, or do you think that's a term you just kind of throw out?
That's lame. I mean, it depends. Like, if you do a total 180 and change your musical tone, the way you sing and everything, that's selling out. But if I could get on the radio playing what I play now, I would so do it. Just to reach more people.
Yeah.
That's what it's all about. Definitely. Nobody sells out, they buy in.
It's thrown around too freely. I mean, unless you were a band in the 80s, like, you know, some Orange County band or some DC hardcore band like Minor Threat, Bad Brains, things like that. They did it just because they wanted to do it, and they wanted to do it on their own. So selling out is overused. Everyone does the sell out. Music's sold out.
I don't think it's much anymore. I think like 5 years ago, it definitely was overused. And I mean, what's a sellout? They're making money playing music, doing what they want to do. I'd rather definitely get a job.
Anyone would do it. Like, I'll give you $1 million to write a crappy album. I'd do it. To be honest with you. I don't know. They're not a punk band though. Like,
what's an example? What would you describe as a punk band?
Anything that stands for something and is against something. Like, Fugazi was against corporations and corporate greed and stuff like that, and Minor Threat against all that stuff, like straight edge. And I don't know, you just have to have a meaning, right, Clark?
Right, I know what you're talking about. So how does being a typically underground sound change the music completely when it becomes mainstream? This is yet another one of the questions I had to find out.
Yeah, well, I don't know if you can really classify that as punk, first of all. I don't think Green Day has anything punk about it. Or Blink-182 or anything on the radio. Like, that's the whole thing about punk, is you can't be on the radio if you're a punk fan. Like, that's completely a double negative, or whatever that's called.
So do you,
hypocrisy.
I don't know. I mean, right now this is the in stuff, and 5 years from now, maybe even a year from now, it's going to be all different. You never know where music's going to take. It's so open. There's not much really you can do.